Well, hello, my name is Andrew Mitchell and I'm Vice Chair of the TNFD Stewardship Council. And if you haven't heard of TNFD, that is the Taskforce for Nature-Related Financial Disclosure. So it'll be a kind of reporting and disclosure framework for the finance sector on nature, so we can move beyond carbon to all the other stuff. In my life, and I've been 40 years at the conservation front line, starting out looking at rainforests and then studying them, seeing them burning, and then getting involved in the politics of COPs, trying to get forests included in the negotiations on climate, and now working with the financial sector globally. And you discover that at each stage you're learning different languages. Mine was the language of science. That was not understood by politicians, and the politicians' language is not understood by the companies, and the company language is not always understood by the finance sector. So you have to learn all these different languages to get messages across. So when you're trying to explain to a CFO in a company, why should you have a bug on your balance sheet? They look at, of course I shouldn't, I don't understand it. So you have to change the language and think about nature as infrastructure that's keeping our world safe. So when you're talking about infrastructure, you start to get a hook in there, they can understand that as utilities and things like that. If you're talking to finance, it's about the stocks and flows, the stock of nature providing a flow of services to them. But mainly they think in terms of risk and opportunity. So if they're engaging in deforestation, are there risks that the companies they're investing in are causing deforestation? That could boomerang back to them as reputational risk, or the prices of commodities could change. And these affect the share prices of the companies they either lend to or own. So you have to translate all that scientific language into financial language. And that is a massive challenge for us, because the degradation of nature worldwide is often thought to be non-material to a finance institution. It doesn't appear in the share price or in the cost of products. And so we have to find a way of translating nature risk into financial risk, but also financial opportunity. People are interested in how I can make money in the future, not just stop losing it. I'm a bit disappointed that very few banks have actually signed up to that pledge. I hope and think they will in the future. But it is a bit of a game changer, because we've got Russia in, and we've got China in, and we have the finance sector in, making a very big and powerful pledge to try and stop deforestation by 2030. And whether we will or we won't, I don't know. Often these pledges fail despite a considerable amount of effort. But what it has done at this COP, it's done something very special, which is that it's put nature-based solutions to climate on an equal footing with renewable energy. And that hasn't happened before. I can tell you, because when I was doing this a long time ago, they used to describe nature in the negotiations as green slime. We don't really need that in the negotiations, because they're all energy, transport, industrial people. They didn't understand how powerful nature is in regulating our atmosphere. But now we're seeing that has been elevated, and pledges like this really do help to elevate it, and it takes us on the right direction. I just wish we could go faster. We are not winning. The number gives it away. This is the 26th conference that's been trying to tackle climate change. But I do think that in the last 2 years, more has happened in this space than all the previous 40 that I've been involved with conservation and stuff at the front line. It's remarkable how something has happened in the world. I think it's mainly younger people are involved. I think people have realized that the way we are treating the planet is a bit bonkers, that to carry on stuffing up our atmosphere just doesn't make sense. And what is exciting is that I think people have realized that after climate, nature is next. And I think that is going to accelerate over the coming decade. I wish it was quicker, but this COP will be the one which had nature at its heart for the first time. If you can imagine, so many years ago, people would not even talk about these things. People would move politely to the other side of the room if I said, "You've got to save rainforests." It just wasn't anything anybody wanted to talk about. Now it's front page and at this conference, and that's a massive change.